This is President Lee, and he's got a huge problem. See, President Lee's jungle is shrinking fast. The jungle itself isn't losing land, but it's worse than that. Monkeys are not starting families. Fewer monkeys are getting married, and old monkeys have become the majority. Once, monkey cubs filled the treetops. Now, empty playgrounds, empty nurseries, and empty classrooms. President Lee's jungle isn't just shrinking, it's on the verge of disappearing entirely. And every year, the jungle grows just a little quieter. The question is, how long before the jungle goes silent? This is the South Korean population crisis. But what's happening? If you toss a banana to a random South Korean monkey, you've got a 1 in 5 chance of giving it to a 65-year-old. See, a healthy jungle has a wide population of young, which tapers off the higher you go up in age. But in South Korea, the pyramid is upside down. Few young, many old. Experts call this the inverted pyramid. Regular monkeys just call it what it is, a ticking time bomb. Why? Because in the South Korean jungle, a small number of young must work to support a far larger population of older monkeys. And those youths? Their population is dwindling very, very fast. South Korea has a fertility rate of 0.72, which is far below the replacement level of 2.1. This means that right now, roughly 3 couples will have 2 children between them. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. This is really bad. To maintain population size, the number of children per couple has to be at least 2. Makes sense, right? 2 children will replace their parents in the workforce when they eventually retire. But this isn't happening, which is why South Korea's population pyramid looks like it's about to topple over. And that's no exaggeration either. Because of low birth rates, the jungle lost 120,000 monkeys just last year, continuing a 6-year streak of population decline. That's like the entire community of Georgetown, Texas, vanishing every single year. But the worst has yet to come, unfortunately, because it will only worsen with time. Imagine your grandparents had 2 kids, your mom and your uncle. Both of them grow up, get married, and each has 2 kids. That means there are 4 cousins in your generation, you and 3 others. But now, imagine that when it's your generation's turn, each of you only has 1 child, or maybe none at all. Suddenly, the next generation shrinks to just 1 or 2 kids in total, instead of 4. Because there are fewer kids in each new generation, there are also fewer people who can become parents in the future. So, with every decade, family trees wilt. The decline doesn't just continue, it speeds up, leading to a dangerous downward spiral. But why did this happen? Let's get one thing straight. It's not that all monkeys don't want families or children. They simply can't afford it. First, bananas don't go as far as they used to. Every month, young working monkeys watch their paychecks vanish. First to rent, then to groceries, then to school fees and bills. Inflation and wage stagnation are the key culprits here, but there's more to the story. Because it's so hard to get ahead, big dreams get put on hold. Marriage, once a natural progression, now feels like a luxury only afforded to the rich and privileged monkeys. Regular monkeys look at their banana savings and realize the cold, hard truth. They can barely afford to support themselves, let alone a partner or a family. So more and more, they put off marriage. Some skip it entirely. And when fewer monkeys get married, that means less cubs. Slowly, nurseries close, playgrounds empty, and the jungle grows just a little more quiet. But wait, it gets worse. The jungle's work culture is notoriously brutal. Late nights, endless meetings, and hyper-competitive environments leave many young monkeys exhausted after the workday ends at 9 p.m. And that's not a typo, because many monkeys work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. while also practicing hoshik culture, where the work teams go out for mandatory after-work dinner and drinks. The line between work and personal life is increasingly blurred. Since eligible bachelors and bachelorettes are worked to the bone, there's no time or energy left for dating, let alone raising a family. The daily grind to survive and make a living makes it feel impossible. But it's not just about exhaustion. The old rules surrounding marriage and gender expectations are changing, but the jungle hasn't caught up. Monkey moms who want careers face judgment. Monkey dads who want to help at home get strange looks. Because companies still expect endless hours and total dedication, starting a family feels less like a natural progression and more like career suicide. Who would want to start a family if you risked losing your livelihood? And with all this pressure, some monkeys are giving the finger to the whole system, leading some to join the controversial 4B movement. No dating, no marriage, no babies, no intimacy. Many monkeys think this is taking it a step too far, while others say it's not taking enough. But one thing's for certain. As more monkeys opt out, the silence in the treetops grows, and the jungle's future gets even more uncertain. How does this affect us? Because the population is shrinking and aging, daily life in the South Korean jungle is already changing. Countless schools and nurseries are closing their doors for good. There simply aren't enough students to fill the classrooms. In rural towns, playgrounds rust away, shops are shuttered, and the streets are empty. Young monkeys leave for the cities, or sometimes for other jungles in hopes of a better life. What's left behind are ghost villages, where the only sound left is the wind rustling leaves through lifeless streets. And because there are fewer working-age monkeys, small businesses struggle to find staff. Cafes, corner stores, and even hospitals can't find enough hands to keep the lights on. The young monkeys who do stay will find themselves facing a massive burden of supporting their jungle's burgeoning elderly population. They're not just working for themselves anymore. They're supporting parents, grandparents, and sometimes even great-grandparents. The weight of the jungle is on their shoulders. And with fewer shoulders to share this responsibility, it's going to crush the ones who stay behind sooner rather than later. But the worst part? The quiet loss of culture. Family recipes that once filled kitchens and homes go unmade and slowly forgotten. Stories that used to be told around the dinner table fade away. Traditions, holidays, drinking games, even the way monkeys greet each other. Slowly, these things will disappear. The jungle isn't just losing monkeys. Its history is slowly, painlessly fading away. This is what a shrinking jungle feels like. It's not just numbers on a chart, but empty seats at the table, silent streets, and a way of life quietly vanishing before our very eyes. But it's not over. President Lee and his predecessors aren't throwing in the towel yet, and have rolled out nearly 300 policy programs since 2006 and spent more than 200 billion bananas in an attempt to improve the birth rate. Everything from cash bonuses for newborn monkey cubs, heavily subsidizing childcare, cheaper preschool fees, and even offering housing support. The jungle government also opened a new ministry to combat low birth rate. Hell, this crisis is so severe that even some companies are rolling out benefits for their employees, with one company offering upwards of 72,000 bananas to employees for each new monkey cub of Korean nationality. To put that into context, this would cover nearly all costs for the cub's education up till university, even if they decide to go through expensive private schools. Talk about a stacked lineup of benefits, huh? It's honestly a miracle that President Lee and his predecessors managed to push through so many changes. Because every time there's a push to change the rules, like capping rent, limiting work hours, or shifting family roles, landlords, bosses, and legacy families called chaebols push back, ultimately making real change difficult. But that's for another video. But did these policies work? Let's look at the numbers. In 2025, births in the jungle rose in April, and the fertility rate, as of now, rose from 0.72 to 0.75. Although this is far below the required replacement rate, it's still really good news. Because this one tiny change marks the end of nearly a decade of declining fertility rates. The job's not done, and the fight to preserve South Korean history and culture is still on. The road ahead is long and arduous, but at least now, we know that the light at the end of the tunnel isn't necessarily a train barreling our way. So the next time you see President Lee announcing a sweeping suite of subsidies and grants for new monkey cubs, you'll understand what they're fighting for. And more importantly, why they're fighting so hard. If any monkeys are confused, remember that this is a simple video explaining the South Korean jungle's population decline and what's being done about it. It is not a hit piece or endorsement of any parties mentioned in this video. Please do not sue Monkey, and thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you'd like to see me cover next.